Hello students, we are going to start chapter 7, the interview. The interview is an excerpt from the author's introduction to the Penguin Book of Interviews, an anthology from 1859 to the present days. The author expresses his views on interview as a communication genre. The chapter has two parts. The first part deals with the view of eminent people about commendable aspect of the interview. The latter part reproduces an actual interview of Umberto Eco, who is being interviewed by Mukund Padmanabham from The Hindu newspaper. So let's start the chapter part 1. Having a history over 130 years, different people have varied opinion about the uses, modes and advantages of interviews. Till now, thousands of celebrities have interviewed. Every educated person is familiar with it. Some people claim that it is a source of truth, while others feels that in practice it is an art. Many celebrities despite the interview because it is an encroachment on their privacy. It depreciates the personality in a similar manner as depicted in some primitive cultures where people believed that if someone takes a photographic portrait of somebody, then one is stealing the person's soul. Versus Naipaul is the opinion that interviews injure people as they lose a part of themselves. Lewis Carroll, the creator of Alice in Wonderland, was said to have just horror of interviewer because he thought he would be treated as a celebrity. His refusals for interviews helped him keep his fans, acquaintances and interviewers at bay. This gave a great satisfaction and amusement to him. Later he would narrate such experiences with aplomb. Rudyard Kipling, H.G. Wells and Saul Bellow's views on interviews. Rudyard Kipling vehemently condemned interviews. His wife Caroline writes in her diary that her husband refuses to give interviews because he considered them immoral, a crime and an assault which is worthy of punishment. According to him, interviews were just something vile and cowardly. He neither held any interviewee in esteem nor the interviewer. Although Kipling criticized the interview, he had himself interviewed Mark Twain. Only a few years before his tirade against interviews, H.G. Wells, an eminent science fiction writer, frequently gave interviews, but in an interview in 1894 referred to the interviewing ordeal. 40 years after his comment, he interviewed Joseph Stalin, a great Russian revolutionary. Saul Bellow felt that interviews created so much tension and pressure that he felt suffocated. He describes interview as thumbprints on the windpipe. Despite of disadvantages, the interview is an excellent medium of communication. Dennis Bryan gives an elevated position to the interviewer because of his power and influence over the interviewee. He terms the interview as an expressive medium. Let's move on to the part 2, which is related to the interview of Umberto Eco. The second part of the chapter is an extract from interview of Umberto Eco, who is being interviewed by Mukund Padmanabham from The Hindu. Umberto Eco is a renowned scholar who is known for his ideas on semiotics, the study of sign, literary interpretation and medieval aesthetics. He is also an author who has an array of works ranging from literary fiction, academic text, essays, children's book and newspaper article. He rose to prominence with his work, The Name of the Rose, which sold a staggering 10 million copies. The interviewer questions him about the personalized style of writing, which is quite different from dull and drab style adopted for writing academic work. He asks him in this come naturally or to him whether he has to make conscious efforts to develop this style. At this, Umberto Eco replies that he learnt this style of writing when he was 22 years of age. At that time, he had presented his first doctorate dissertation in Italy. His professor was impressed because he had included his trails and errors in it. He had told the story of research. His professor published his dissertation, a book, which was his way of complimenting his student. Eco understood that he had to adopt the narrative style in his works also. This led him to become a novelist at the ripe age of 50. At this stage, Umberto Eco remembers his friend Ronald Bathurst, who was an essayist and died frustrated because he couldn't fulfill his wish of being creative writer. Umberto says that he never felt his frustration, as even his essays had narrative aspect to them. He says that he started writing novels by accident. They catered to his taste for narration. One day when Umberto Eco had nothing to do, he tried to write a novel. The Name of the Rose made him famous as a novelist, although he is an academician. Over 40 works of non-fiction. Most people know him, Umberto Eco, as a novelist, but this doesn't please him. He belongs to an academic community that participates in academic conferences. He writes novel only on Sundays. He accepts that the fact by writing fiction he can reach more people. He says, I cannot expect to have 1 million readers with stuff on semiotics. Mukund, the interviewer, asks him if he is surprised by staggering success of novel The Name of the Rose, as The Name of the Rose is a serious novel that spins a detective yarn at one level and also ventures into metaphysics, theology and medieval history. It is considered a difficult, serious read. Umberto Eco says that he is not puzzled by staggering sales figure. The only people who look at this in disbeliefs are journals and publishers. They believe that people like trash and I don't like difficult reading experience. He applies his own mind to this. He says that after work, the whole day he refreshes himself by watching light entertainment programs such as Miami Vice or Emergency Room after dinner. Similarly, everybody likes light reading only to a certain extent. As such, serious reading doesn't have a capability to draw people. The medieval period to which this book belongs could have played a major role in success. For Umberto Eco, the success of book is a mystery. If he had written it 10 years earlier or 10 years later, it might have not been such a remarkable story success. I just hope you have understood the chapter well. Thank you, all of you.